I'm Chef James Amster. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we'll be making Gravlax. I'm prepping the salmon right now. And what you're going to do is cut off the skin. And the way you do that, and I suck at it, honestly, because I never work with fish, is you grab the skin and you put your knife, you angle it slightly down, and you just kind of work it back and forth, and the skin should just come off just like it's doing. And actually this like thin part right here, you can cut this right off, because I'm not even going to use it because it's too thin and it's just going to turn to nothing. You're going to end up losing it anyway. So for this, and like right now when I'm cutting it, look, the butcher didn't get these bones out. So you just take your fillet knife and trim it off. So this is what all you're going to need to make a cure for the Gravlax that we're making today. You're going to need some granulated sugar, some kosher salt, a little bit of black pepper, some dill, some orange, and some lime, and some good old food service film. You can use plastic wrap, whatever. So you're going to need a cup of sugar, or thereabouts. 2 cups of this kosher salt. There's 2. A little bit of pepper, I'd say about a 1/4 cup. Maybe less. I'm going to use less. That's a few tablespoons at best. You're going to get some dill. Take some of the dill fronds, and this is 18 grams of dill total. I'm probably going to use half of it, so about 9 grams of dill, whatever that amounts to. You're going to want to chop it up, and a good way to chop herbs quick is to take them and roll them into a ball, and then they chop quicker. For our purposes, that's plenty fine enough. You throw that in. And then you're going to need the zest of 1 lime and 1 orange. You're just going to zest it. You don't want to get down into the pith because it's bitter. You just want the zest off the skin. So make sure you're constantly turning the piece of citrus fruit. Now you're just going to mix this up. The citrus zest will clump a little bit at first, but salt has an affinity for water, so it's going to dehydrate it. And after a couple of seconds of like kind of just mixing it around like this, it'll start to spread out evenly. See, the dill's spread evenly. You want to get everything spread out evenly in there. That's it. So the next step is going to be to take your plastic wrap and lay it out flat. You're going to take the curing mix right here, and you're going to spread about 40–50% of it, just as nice and flat as you can. That's good, I think, for the size we have. And you can take your fish and kind of put it there and be like, okay, this is the right amount. You're gonna set the fish on top of it, and then you're gonna cover with the rest. And you're just gonna kind of put it around. It needs to cover the entire thing. Now, we're gonna cut the film. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap these edges so that you don't make a mess. And if you want, you can put another, just to be safe. Come from the top too. Flip it over. And now the most crucial part to making anything delicious, you gotta wait. Takes about 24 hours. Just stick it in the fridge. Welcome back. It's been 24 hours almost exactly, and I'm going to show you how to finish the process of the Gravlax. So we've got this, and you can tell it's ready to go. You can feel the firmness of it. This might be a little bit underdone, but I think it's going to be okay. You can also tell, you can see the salt, which I said earlier has an affinity for water, has dehydrated somewhat the salmon. Now this is kind of a process you have to get a feel for, because obviously a thinner piece of salmon is going to cure faster than a thicker piece. So you know, it's like anything else. You practice it and you get better at it. So you're just going to take off, see, let this get rid of all that. You don't need it. And then you're going to quickly just rinse the salmon off. You don't want to really rehydrate it. So take it and pat it down. Pat it down. Just wash the stuff off. You don't want that salt, it's nasty now. So now, this outside crust is real salty and it's not good. So you just want to trim paper thin pieces off so that you might want to get a sharper knife. This outer part, like I was saying, this outer part is it's crusty and it's really salty and it's just not good. So you're just going to want to trim thin pieces off to expose the underside. Conversely, you should be able to see your knife through them, because that's all it is. It's just that very outer crust. And I actually have a finished piece here. This other piece I cured for an extra day, and it's even drier than this piece. You might prefer it like that. It's a little bit closer to salmon jerky at that point. I wouldn't cure it more than 2 days. This is 2 days, this is 1 day. You can see the difference. This is still retained some moisture, and this is a lot leaner. This is gonna last longer than this. But neither one is really better than the other, I think. It's just preparation. This is some citrus supremes I made. This is just some fresh dill frond, some cucumber, some purple onion, some tomato, and instead of capers, if you watched the last video, the tropical fruit Foster had papaya. So I pickled these papaya seeds because I ate one and it tasted like kind of like a caper and kind of like a peppercorn. So I'm going to use them in place of the capers. And the way I pickled these was I just made a brine. I made a solution of white vinegar, water, hot water, some pickling salt, and a little bit of sugar. And I put the pulp, I just scooped them straight in there. I put the pulp in there and everything to flavor the brine. and they turned out pretty good. Now again, when you slice this, you want to slice it real thin. And you can see that when you slice it this paper thin, just how pretty it is. It looks so good. A little serving suggestion for this now. I prefer an English muffin to a bagel. Not really, I'm just out of bagels and too lazy to go get some. We're going to take our cream cheese. I'm going to spread it on the muffin. I'm going to place the salmon. Put some tomato on. Actually, I'm going to put the cucumber first for the contrast. Put some cucumber on. Put some tomato. A little bit of purple onion. A little citrus supreme. Fresh dill frond. And then the pickled papaya seeds.